Hello everyone, welcome to Angie's Drama Room. I am your meeting host Angie, where I do drama reviews on all things drama, focusing mostly on Asian dramas, and today is my final review on a Korean idol drama that is just finished airing. It's a rom-com called Love Next Door. It is a 16 episode rom-com. However, right now, as point of me doing this taping, we are finishing up on we are done with episode 14, going into the weekend with episodes 15 and 16. And to be truthfully honest, I don't really expect nothing major to happen where it's going to be something traumatic. So I just thought I'll go ahead and do a roundup right now. If there's something after I air this, I will put it in the comments below. What's the story about? Let's just start with that first. All in all, I will give it a C. And the reason why I gave it a grade C, best friends in high school. So, and they grew up together and he liked her. So that's the reason why I give it a grade C. Swoon worthiness, I give it a 1 flame for swoon worthiness out of 5. The story is about our female lead, Soo-min, who I'm not quite sure her character name, but however, who went to school abroad for school and work. She comes back home 10 plus years later with a failed career and a failed engagement. That's it. That's the story. And when she came back, she was hiding herself from her parents at first because she was scared to tell her parents that she came back and that, she lost her job and her fiance. And so that's where we pick up with our male lead who liked her since high school. And so now he kind of feelings started to come back up again. And so in the first act, in the first beginning, you kind of were like, okay, we're drawn to it. It was actually pretty good. The scene's development was really good. But however, to me, I just didn't care too much with all the hitting and the fighting and the bantering like that back and forth. And to a point where as one scene came along, they were on a bike. And she decided to, after she got off the bike, she got mad and she kicked the bike. That was more anger issues than anything. And then one scene, she put our male lead in a chokehold. However, whatever, I got past all that. And then towards the end, about after the 4th or 5th episode, that kind of died down all the way. So they stopped doing all that anyway. So she comes back home from the States with a failed career, failed fiance, failed engagement. Her parents did finally find out. Mom goes off on her. She never explained truly why she came back or why it was failed. It was just barely answering questions. Moms get upset. And my thing is, you haven't seen your daughter in years and you're upset because she came back without an explanation of why her career failed or why her engagement failed. You just should be happy that your daughter came back. But I think mostly it was to the point where she just kind of wanted bragging rights with her friends, because she probably bragged about the fact that her daughter's overseas with a high level career and a engagement, a fiance. And so now when she came back, that kind of just tanked. So she doesn't have that bragging rights anymore. And so she wanted her to, I guess mom always wanted her to have the best, but what was the best for her? Because even Soo-min didn't know what was the best for her either. I will give it 1 flame swoon worthiness. And it's just because the chemistry wasn't really there. The chemistry didn't match. They had their tropes, they had their looks. The male lead had the whole male lead trope, but for her, she kind of was, she was on the receiving end, but she kind of didn't really seem like she really had enough of that chemistry to catch it. When they finally did get together, it seemed like it was forced. It was a little cringeworthy to me. It wasn't the worst possible time when they got together. So it wasn't like it was something that you just couldn't feel it, but it was okay. The story really did not have much of a story development. They didn't take time in developing the story itself and bringing out the reasoning to all this whole thing about her coming back home. And it was like really, she really didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. just like this, just like the story itself. They didn't really know how to go with this. So she was trying to find a way to figure out what to do with her life when she came back home to Korea. And so I guess somewhere down the line, she found this muse or this epiphany that she liked to cook. And even then, that didn't seem like it was much of a buildup. They kind of just threw it in there. They made her make this plate of food. And to me, I thought it was going to be supposed to kind of be not good, but she presented it to our male lead, and she's like, good, right? Good, right? And it's yes. She didn't know what she wanted to do with her life from the time she was in high school. The only reason why she went abroad to the States was because a friend of hers from high school was going over there, and she thought it was a good idea too. She passed the test in order to do it, and she went there. And to be truthfully honest, I'm not even quite sure what her career was while she was in the States. And then our male lead, he became an architect, and he won a lot of awards, and he was very well-known architect. And he opened up his business in Korea. Now, I don't know if he was always in Korea at the time. I don't remember. I don't know if they said that he did that. They kind of just threw that at us, and that was pretty much the first 4 or 5 episodes. After the fifth episode and on, there was nothing in the middle. There was nothing. There was no buildup. There was just a bunch of useless tropes and useless conversations. So that was kind of it. There was not much of a story buildup to there really wasn't nothing to say where they were going with the story. And I think that was the problem. And I think the only reason why we kept tuning in was because of our leads here. I was on social one time and people were talking about style and substance. And most times people want substance now. This show right now is mostly about style. And you're tuning in because of our leads. We had the exes coming back, the trope where the exes are coming in. The female lead's ex wanted her back. And then, but yeah, we still don't know why they broke up at this point. We just know he's coming back and telling about he wants her back. He presented himself to her parents, and the mom was like, mom asked him, did you have an affair? He's like, no. Did she have an affair? No, because that's what she told her parents, she had an affair. Which, really, right, okay. And they still didn't specify why they broke up to the parents. She still didn't tell him. He didn't say because he knew why, but he knew that she didn't want him to say because then he would have known, right? Then we had it where our male lead's ex came back, and I'm not even quite sure what she did. I think she did something with pottery, and even then when she came back, the female lead kind of got a little jealous. And so there was nothing really there either to make her even feel jealous. They had this long conversation, and I really pretty much didn't care what the conversation was. I guess it was supposed to be just this type of epiphany about their relationship and how their life was. And I don't know. I really didn't care. So I didn't really kind of just let it play out on the TV. And then she wanted to hire him because, again, he was an architect, which does buildings. And I guess she wanted him hire him to do something. I don't even know what had to do with anything about pottery, doing some type of design or something. And then her ex wanted to hire him to do something too. I'm like, what is going on here? So they kind of just throwing stuff in here with no substance. And then we had the father's trope where the father got swindled by scammers. They had to find it. So that was, of course, we all love the revenge type of thing, right? So we found the revenge and we were like, yay. So, okay, boom. I really didn't care too much about the female lead's father. He was annoying. His dialogue, it was just slurring, and even when he was drunk, it was just annoying. His voice was just annoying to me. The mother was okay. Don't expect the mom to be on your side if you don't tell her the whole story, and that was pretty much it. And the mom was again about the bragging rights of her daughter, and that's what she wanted. Basically, when you present yourself as being independent, what more can your family do for you? And then you upset because they're not showing any efforts towards you or supporting you. You could tell that there was a strained relationship between the male lead's father and mother because they slept in different rooms. And then you had it where towards the end of the episode, the end of the series, you kind of feel now that they actually had the male lead had a strain with his mother, because his mother made a comment out of not thinking that she wished she was never had a child, and he was standing right there. And I don't even think that was not really resolved at the time when he was little, when he heard that. And I guess they kind of resolved it later when mom was having this issues with dementia pretty much and couldn't remember. So they thought she may have dementia. That's a whole nother thing there. So the relationship did get better, and the female lead had something to do with that. And then we had the cancer trope, the sickness trope, out of the blue, out of nowhere. There was just this trope where on the 8th episode, all of a sudden she gets this stomach pain. Now, there was Easter eggs, if you think about it. There was Easter eggs where they did mention on a flashback she was out of work for 3 years. We don't know why. They never mentioned it. And then there was an Easter egg when she had a nosebleed. And to me, I was like, oh, maybe she was sick. But then again, the way the nosebleed came about, maybe it just happened. I was like, no matter what you tell me, no matter what you say, I really don't like the whole sickness trope, especially when you're talking about a very serious illness, such as her having stage 1 stomach cancer. And it happened while she was overseas, and she never told her family and friends. I don't like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I will never like that type of trope. You are overseas by yourself, and only person you have support for was your fiance, and he just proposed to you, and you guys are still trying to get to know each other, and he was the only one who was there to help you through it. And to come find out, the only reason why he was there supporting you was because he felt that you were supporting yourself. And he was just there just to be there to take you to and from your trips. And then when depression hit, this is the reason why the engagement broke up. When depression hit, which is true, which happens, he couldn't handle it. So, and they decided to break up. And that's the reason why it broke up. Now he wanted to come back to Korea when she finds out, when he, I guess, finds out, I don't know, because there was nothing there, how he knew she was living her life better while she was in Korea and more happier. So now he wants to come in and swoop in and be part of her life again. And then she wants support from her family, but yet she never told her family that she had cancer. That's the reason why I don't like those tropes. Even with other dramas, C-dramas and other dramas, they go to a point where they tell the doctors, not even tell the patient they have it. They did find out eventually. The female lead found out first. And then the mom and dad, both moms overheard the conversation. And so now everybody found out. And that kind of was, that scene was really emotional, and it was actually not bad. So even that scene alone was pretty good. So if they kind of cut and paste the good scenes together, we probably would have got maybe 6 episodes instead of 16. And at that point, we were at the 8th episode. I'm not quite sure. And I'm like, well, where are the other 8s going to come back from? You know, what else are they going to put in here, right? They start throwing in the second lead syndrome, and the second male lead and the second female lead. And they had a little girl. I'm not too fond for this actor because he was just in Serendipity and Embrace. He's not a bad actor, but to me, I'm not really feeling him. So I'm like, and I've been seeing him in a lot of shows lately, which I'm surprised. His whole storyline was just, I'm like, what is going on with this show? So the female lead first met the little girl. And I guess the female lead fell in love with this little girl. And she wanted to be this little girl's friend. Yeah. And this is before she knew who her father was. Quote. And so when the female lead runs into the second male lead, the second female lead runs into the second male lead, they didn't hit it off right away. They kind of did, but then they didn't. So they didn't really hit off right away. And so she still didn't know that this little girl was related to the second male lead. So then when they did find out, they kind of came together. He's a journalist. Of course, you're going to have it where he goes on to her job and tries to figure out how, because she was a paramedic, trying to see how the ins and outs of the life of a paramedic. And so now they did finally get together somewhat. No, they actually didn't get together, but he was afraid to have his daughter be a part of the world type of thing because of what happened to the family, right? So I'm going to tell you now, if you didn't want to know, this is spoilers again. I spoiled this whole show, so it doesn't matter right at this point. Come to find out, we just found out, I think it was either episode 13 or 14, somewhere between 12, 13, 14, one of those three, I don't even know. His family, so he had his mother and father, the second male lead's mother and father. He had an older brother and a sister-in-law, and then we had the little girl. The little girl is actually his niece. And what happened was they all were supposed to go on his vacation, which he did not go because he had a prior commitment with work. So all the other family members went on vacation. During this time on vacation, they all perished in a car accident. I kid you not. And I'm like, what is going on? And I saw a spoiler on social, and it didn't shock me. I wasn't even shocked by it. I said, the way this show was going, it makes sense of how they do this. They're just gonna throw that in there. I mean, I can see if the parents were a little too old to take care of the daughter, and they lived in lived somewhere else, and his brother and sister-in-law passed away. Or I can see if maybe one of the parents passed away prior, and then what have you. But no, they wiped out the whole family in one accident. And the only person, of course, survived was the little girl. And I think at the time she was 3 or so. I don't remember how old she was. And so he's been taking care of her as his own, which makes sense. He became the guardian. And so that's the reason why he was very tight with her and how she's reacting. Because at first I thought she was sick herself, but no, he was very cautious with her. That was the second lead syndrome. So, and that's kind of the story. It kind of just threw a lot of these things in here. But that's the reason why, again, explaining to you each trope was fine, but trying to really put a build up to the storyline laid flat. I think if they gave her just to tell her just a little bit more, lighten up a little bit, I think it would probably been okay. Because to a point to me where all this fighting and biting in the beginning, why would somebody wants to be part of somebody's relationship and be part of that? However, that's pretty much what it is. Okay, so this is my final review, my final thoughts. Again, if anything happens in episode 15 and 16, I'll leave a comment below to let you know. But other than that, I don't think nothing else is going to happen, because I guess the next trope was what? They're going to have a wedding. Okay. But however, again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already. Please like the video, please, if you have not already. I really appreciate every subscription I get. This is my final thoughts on Love Next Door. Finally, media adjourned.